good evening. Let's talk for a little bit about your path towards making $30,000, $40,000 per month in your business and what is required to get there, to start actually making multiple 5 figures per month in your business. I wanted to talk about specific numbers like this and the big money goals because I wanted to talk what is required of you to start getting there, to start achieving those numbers on a consistent basis and keep having those $30,000, $40,000 per month, and the mindset required, because I could sit here and say how to get there in terms of what kind of offers you need to have, what the pricing needs to be. But the truth is that there are many different ways to get to the same result. However, a big difference between people that get there and people that don't get there is the thinking and the strategy behind it, and having a strategy that supports your goals, okay? So I was sitting here preparing because Brand Accelerator Program 2.0 starts, and I still have 2023 year's prices. The prices go up tomorrow night, end of day. So if you want to apply now, because if you apply now, you will still be eligible for the old prices. So I was sitting here preparing a little bit for Brand Accelerator Program 2.0 and the mindset alignment part within the program, which to me is key in order to get closer to your goals. So let's say your goal is to reach those $30,000, $40,000 months. Something that I see a big gap for entrepreneurs that are working towards those $30,000, $40,000 per month, a big gap I see is there's a massive gap in the way they act, the actions they take, the decisions they make, and actually the offers and the prices that they set. So it's a big difference between dreaming about those numbers, fantasizing about those numbers, thinking that someday in the future you will get there, and a big difference between thinking and fantasizing about it and actually making it happen, actually taking those steps to making it happen for you. So I see a lot of people fantasizing about it, and either they're trying to I should be able to get there next month. They're too optimistic about how fast they will get there, or they're very pessimistic about how fast they could get there, and they have this idea that that's far in the future and there's so many things that need to happen and everything needs to be aligned. I need to be done with my course, I need to be done with this, I need to have this, I need to have this. And honestly, thinking that you need to have everything in place, that's you self-sabotaging. That's you self-sabotaging. Thinking you need to have everything done and finalized, and everything, all the stars need to be aligned for you to take that step towards the big goals and the big numbers and actually building a business, and not just being a freelancer, selling your time, selling your hours, actually taking those massive steps. You have to do something. And it's really, really comfortable to sit there and think, maybe I can just sit here and manifest. I can just think about the number. I can just manifest and write it down. Actually, the people that are getting there have done a lot of things to get there. They're doing things to get there. They're not just thinking about it. Things are not happening automatically. Every single person you see that's getting to those numbers and those months, they are all taking the steps and they're doing the work to get there, okay? So something that I wanted to say is, when you start working towards those bigger months and the bigger money goals, what you should think about is why you have this goal. Like, why do you want to get there? Why do you want to get to $30,000 per month, $40,000 per month? Like, what is your motivation to get there? Because in the end, we really only need so much to be happy and content, right? Like, in the beginning of our business for a very long time, we are working towards just feeling like the business is running, we have enough money to support ourselves. Like, then we might have some extra money to invest in our education, and we have some savings and stuff like that. But the reason why people don't start scaling and don't start actually growing their business, scaling their business and getting to the big numbers is because there is no real motivation to get there. There's actually no real reason for them to go there, because they are content being where they are, because it's kind of like you're no longer working towards the goal to just sustain yourself. So you need to know why you're even doing this. Like, why do you want to build a business? Why do you want to get to $30,000, $40,000 per month? What are you working towards? What are you going to use that money for? Why do you want to do that? So in the end, if we're too focused on just the money for the sake of the money, we will lose the motivation. We will not feel like there's any point for us to do that. So a lot of people feel like the reason why they want to reach those money goals is because there's an ego attached to it. So they feel like, I want to reach 30,000, 40,000 because it sounds cool, because then I will be successful, then people will validate me, and I will finally be seen as an entrepreneur. So a lot of people have that drive, and maybe they even get there. Maybe they get to $30,000, $40,000 per month because they do have that drive, which is really based on their ego. So if it's purely based on your ego, most likely you will start selling things and doing things that feel completely unaligned to you. Most likely you will create an offer that feels unaligned. Most likely you'll say yes to clients you don't like. And sooner or later you'll burn out. Because the goal isn't just to get to $30,000, $40,000 per month. The goal is to get there and actually feel like you are aligned and you love what you do and you have freedom and you feel happy and you feel content. That's the goal. Like, we're not trying to work ourselves towards a certain number and hate our lives and hate our businesses, okay? So something that's very important is figuring out why you want to get there. Like, what is your motivation? Why do you even want to scale? Why do you want to grow? Because you could just stay where you are. But if you, for any reason, you jump into this live and you're like drawn to this live for whatever reason, ask yourself, why do I want to scale? Why do I want to grow to that number? Why do I want to sell more? Why do I want more money? What will I do with that money? What does that money represent for me? How will I use that money to improve my life, my family's life, my whatever, like lives for other people? Whatever you want to do with it, ask yourself the reason why you want to make that money that is beyond just your ego, beyond just feeling like you deserve it or feeling like you should be a match for that amount of money. But actually ask yourself the reason why. Why do I want 30,000? Why do I want 40,000? Why do I want 100K? Why do I want 150K? Like, why? And I kind of, if you're watching right now, truly ask yourself the question and think about the answer. And think specifically about what you would do with that money. Like, would you buy a business? Would you invest? Would you buy a home? What would you do? Because for me, making more money in my business has always meant, to get to this point, it's always meant that means I'm able to reinvest money into my business. That means I'm able to take out the money out of my business into an apartment. That means I can invest that money for growth. I'm not personally trying to think that I want to have a very expensive lifestyle or spend that money on a lot of expensive things. But I want to create with that money, allow money to grow more. Like, that's what I'm driven by because I do want financial freedom, and I'm not like afraid to say that. My goal is to be 100% financially free. but I still want to work forever. I will always work, but my goal is to get to the point where I know that I could stop working and I don't need to work, and I'm not working for money. I'm just working because I want to. And I do want to, of course, I want to increase my lifestyle and stuff like that, but that's not my why in the end. My drive personally I mean, this is the number I'm at right now, 30, 40, 50, up to 70. So that's the number that I've gotten used to, that I've started feeling comfortable with. But in order to grow, like, why do I want to grow? Because I could stay here and I could have a really good life, be super happy where I am. I could still reinvest that money into my growth, personal growth, the business, whatever. So why do I want to get to 100K? Why do I want to get to 150K? Why do I want to get further? Well, for me personally, I am absolutely obsessed with growth. I love growing as a person, as an entrepreneur. I love growing a business. I love the growth part of it. So for me, growing my business to 100K or 150K months would mean that I am evolving as a person. I'm becoming a smarter entrepreneur. I'm reaching new goals. I'm becoming like another person. And that is really exciting to me, because personally, I think I didn't start my business to get to a point and then just be stuck there and like, I'm fine where I am forever. I actually always want to keep growing because I love the process. I love the process. I love the journey. I am obsessed with the journey, and I'm never really like satisfied in when I'm very comfortable and when I'm very like, yeah, I have enough money now. Like, I don't have to work for a while. Like, that's not really fun for me to be in that situation. It's fun for like a while when you get there and you're like, yeah, I could take a break now if I wanted to. But then you get too bored. And that's when you know you have the entrepreneur brain. You have the entrepreneur brain where you constantly want to grow. You constantly want to achieve more. And it's not about being dissatisfied, because I personally am very content in my life. So it's not about dissatisfaction. It's about the game of being an entrepreneur. It's exciting. It's fun, right? But I also want to say, like, it should be very clear to you what you want to spend that money on, including if that's your lifestyle upgrade, if that's a house you want to buy, if that's like saving money for your kids, whatever it is. Really feel like, why am I doing this? Why do I want to get to that number? And I also want to say that ask yourself, when you have these money goals, where are you not in alignment with your goal? So if you have the $30,000, $40,000 per month goal, because that's what I'm talking about right now. If you have that goal, where are you not taking actions that take you closer to that goal? Like, are you still like not selling, not raising your prices, not implementing a marketing strategy, not getting help from coaches and mentors, not surrounding yourself with the right people? Like, asking people for advice that you shouldn't be, like, are you acting in alignment with your goal or in unalignment with your goal? Because people that are growing are not doing the things that include getting stuck. Like, people that grow, they don't get stuck for years. They don't, like, they're not afraid to take risks. They're not afraid to invest. They're not afraid to raise their prices, to be uncomfortable, or to sell, or whatever it is, or posts on social media. So how, like, are you acting in alignment with your goal, or aren't you? And I think it's fine to have a period where you feel like you have to take a step back. You have to like think about life and what you want to do and like what your real goals are. So we all have those periods. So I'm not saying that every period of our life should be very action based. That's not at all what I'm saying. But you should still ask yourself, like, do I have these goals, but am I acting like the person who has that goal? So personally, I've always acted like the person that I want to be. I've always acted like my future self. And that is what really has accelerated my business personally. I mean, people, you all know that I've invested. I mean, I've said many times, I've invested like 120K or something into myself, into my personal and professional growth. $120,000, that is. I don't know if it's 100. I've even lost count by now, but it's something like that. And the thing is, I invested like 10, 15K when I had no income. When I just started my business, I invested 10, 15K into a mentorship program. When I was at half of the revenue I'm at now, when I was at like 180,000 a year, when I had a year where I made $180,000 approximately, that was the year I invested $50,000 into a mentor. And personally, like, I'm not saying everyone's like me and everyone should do things like me, but personally, I am making investment decisions and decisions and growth decisions never based on where I am right now. It's based on where I want to go. So I'm never thinking, oh, I'm at this number now. I'm at this point in my business, so I should be doing this. Because if I'm just acting in alignment with where I am, of course I'll get stuck where I am. If I keep acting like the person that I am, I will keep getting stuck where I am. And I will keep being Joella at this level, etc. But if I start acting like someone who is making 100K months or whatever it is, if I start making those decisions and being that person and showing up as that person, then I'll get closer and closer to that goal. So that's why I've been able to double my revenue in 2023, for example. That's why I feel like growth and growing fast comes naturally to me, because I'm always like moving towards not being stuck and always moving forward and towards growth. And sometimes that means that a few months might be off, a few months you might need to change something. But what I'm saying is, when I say moving towards growth, I'm not saying that means that you are always like building your business, always doubling your revenue or anything like that. I'm saying that I've taken actions and I've made decisions that means that I'm losing money in the short term, or I'm not selling in the short term, and because I'm building for the future. So sometimes that actually means saying no to money, saying no to income, saying no to clients, and taking a break because you need to step back and work on the future. So it doesn't always mean that you're constantly hustling or selling and constantly trying to get to the next level. That's not necessarily what I'm saying. Acting in alignment with your future self and acting in alignment with your goals means also actually sometimes taking a step back and putting the plan for the future. Personally, that's what I've done a lot for the past couple of months. I have actually focused a lot on taking a step back, realigning myself, figuring out what I wanted to do with my program and what I wanted to do with my offers, and to really think about, well, what am I really building now here? Like, what do I want to sell for the next 5 years? So if I want to sell something for the next 5 years, am I willing to take a step back and realign myself so I can start selling the things I want to sell for 5 years? Yes. So then I took a step back, realigned myself, and that's why I'm launching Brand Accelerator Program 2.0, because I wanted to stop selling the old program because it no longer felt aligned for me to sell, and started launching Brand Accelerator Program 2.0 instead, because that felt like something I wanted to grow for years and years and years to come, while the old program I just felt unaligned with, and I didn't want to continue doing that program. So that is also acting in alignment with your future self. Sometimes it means making a massive investment into a course or a mentor or program. Sometimes that just means taking action and doing things that feel uncomfortable and feel scary. And sometimes that means taking a step back and actually saying no to the short-term income and short-term clients and short-term projects, because you are trying to build something here. And that is also a massive part of increasing and building your business, is saying no. Like, my business started growing exponentially more when I started hyper focusing on one thing and said no to like 90%. Saying no to clients, saying no to meetings with random people, saying no to events, saying no to everything. Like the more things I said no to, and the more I hyper focused on one thing, that I could allow that to grow further. And what you focus on grows. That's the old saying. That's the truth. What you focus on grows. And so if I want you to bring something with you from this live is find your focus, start acting in alignment with the person that you want to be and with the goal you have. If you have a certain money goal, there's no freaking way you'll get there if you are trying to stay stuck at a certain level and you're taking action and making moves based on where you are. So that kind of requires a mindset shift. It requires you to start doing some new things that you might not have done so far, but you need to start doing because you want to get to that next level. It doesn't make sense to keep posting on Instagram stories and that's all you do for years and years to come. Instagram stories, if that's not taking you to the next level. At some point, you're going to have to do something else. At some point, you're going to have to include LinkedIn or newsletter or shift your content strategy. It's not going to keep working forever and ever, even if it got you this far. It doesn't mean that that's going to take you to a much bigger level. Okay? So thank you so much for this session. I wanted to encourage you to apply to Brand Accelerator Program 2.0 latest tomorrow. Fill in your application. Link is in bio because the price is raised. And Brand Accelerator Program 2.0 is the go-to marketing program for coaches and consultants that want to turn more of their followers into clients. So you will get the entire framework and strategy for how to attract clients, ignite them, and activate them to buy. Thank you so much, and I hope you have a wonderful evening.